I am going to tell you one thing that will reveal a narcissist's true nature faster than anything else. And once you see it, you'll understand why so many narcissists suddenly explode when you try to hold them accountable. I'm Grace. I am a survivor of narcissistic abuse. And today we're talking about what the narcissist fears more than anything. But before I forget, I want to ask you to please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. So what we're talking about here is accountability. This is the moment when their carefully constructed facade crumbles and you finally see who they really are. Do you have someone in your life who can dish it out but can't take it? How they can criticize everyone around them, but the moment you point out their behavior, suddenly you become the villain. So today we're going to dive deep into why this happens and what it reveals about the narcissist's mindset. Here's the thing about narcissists. Their entire identity is built on a house of cards. They need to believe that they are superior, always right, and never at fault. So when accountability comes knocking on that door, it doesn't just threaten their behavior. It threatens their entire sense of self. Think about it this way. For most of us, being wrong about something or making a mistake, it's uncomfortable, but it's not the end of the world. We can say, I was wrong, and move on. But for a narcissist, admitting fault is like admitting their entire identity is a lie. This is why they fight so hard against any form of accountability. It's not just about being right in the moment. It's about preserving their grandiose self-image at all costs. And here's what's really important to understand. When they deny you accountability, they're not just being stubborn. They're actively harming you. Because this denial becomes another weapon in their arsenal of abuse. So what happens when you don't play along? When you refuse to accept their version of reality? This is where the vilification begins. First, they try to gaslight you. That never happened. You're just being too sensitive. You're remembering this all wrong. And if that doesn't work, they move to blame shifting. Suddenly, everything becomes your fault. You're the one with the problem. You're the one who's toxic. You are crazy. And here's the really insidious part. They'll often recruit others to their side. They'll tell your story to mutual friends, but with them as the victim and you as the aggressor. Or they might even make up the story that they talked to other people. And everyone agrees that you are the one with the problem. They're rewriting history in real time, all to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. The person who once claimed to love you, who maybe even put you on a pedestal, will now see you as the enemy. Why? Because you saw through their game. You refused to enable their behavior. You held up a mirror, and they could not stand that reflection. They will choose their ego over anyone, every time. It's not even really a choice for them. Their ego is their survival mechanism. And without it, they would have to face the reality of who they really are. And that's simply too threatening. But here's what we need to understand. When they protect their ego at your expense, they're making you pay the price for their psychological wounds. The truth becomes their enemy, which means you become their enemy for speaking it. Think about how a child might react when caught doing something wrong. They might deny it. They might blame their siblings or have a complete meltdown. The narcissist operates from the same emotional place, but with manipulation tactics ready to deploy. They've spent years, maybe decades, building this false self. They've convinced themselves and others that they're special and that they're above criticism. They're the victim in every story. When you try to hold them accountable, you're not just challenging their behavior, you're challenging their entire life narrative. And this is where the abuse really crystallizes. Every time they deny accountability, they're essentially telling you that maintaining their false image is more important than your mental health or your feelings or your reality. It's as damaging as any other form of emotional abuse because it systematically erodes your connection to truth and your trust in your own perceptions. But when you bear witness to the mask slipping, this is the moment where you finally see them for who they really are. The charming, charismatic person you thought you knew is replaced by someone cold and vindictive and cruel. It's jarring because it seems to happen overnight. But the truth is, this was always who they were. They were just better at hiding it in the beginning. This is often the most painful part for people in relationships with narcissists. The day you realize that the person you loved, the person you thought you knew, was all just an act. The day you began to see them for who they truly are. And here's what's really important to understand. This isn't about you. Their reaction to accountability is not a reflection of your worth or your actions, even though you are most definitely their target. No, this is a window into their psychology. It's them telling you very clearly that their image is more important than your relationship. You did not cause their reaction by holding them accountable. You didn't make them choose their ego over your relationship. Those were their choices, and they reveal their character, not yours. Being denied accountability is most definitely a form of abuse. It's not less harmful than the silent treatment. It's not less damaging than their explosive rages. It's not less toxic than the gaslighting. It's all part of the same system designed to keep you off balance and questioning your own reality. When someone consistently refuses to be accountable, they're telling you that your version of events does not matter. Your feelings do not matter. Your experience of their behavior, that doesn't matter either. The systematic denial of your reality is psychological warfare. And it's designed to make you doubt yourself and accept their version of events. But when the mask slips and you begin to see the real person behind the mask, this is actually valuable information. When someone shows you that they're willing to destroy your relationship rather than take any responsibility for their actions, believe them. When they show you that maintaining their false image is more important than your mental health, that's telling you everything you need to know about their priorities. Some people might ask, but what if they change? Well, here's the hard truth. Someone who refuses to be accountable is telling you they don't want to change. Change requires acknowledging that there's a problem, and they're already showing you that they're not willing to do that. They'd rather keep abusing you through denial than face the truth about their behavior. The narcissist's reaction to accountability is like a litmus test for their character. It reveals whether they're capable of growth, of genuine relationships, of real intimacy. And in most cases, their reaction will tell you everything you need to know. But more than that, their refusal to be accountable is a form of abuse that sits right alongside of all their other tactics. The denial of the truth is as harmful as the silent treatment. The rewriting of history is just as damaging as their explosive rages. The systematic erasure of your reality is just as toxic as the gaslighting campaigns. Remember, healthy people can handle being wrong. They can apologize. They can make amends. They can do better. If someone in your life consistently chooses their ego over your relationship, that's not a relationship problem. That's a character problem, and you cannot fix what they are not willing to acknowledge. Most importantly, you don't have to accept being abused through their denial of accountability. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced this dynamic? How did you handle it? I really hope you got something out of this video, and I hope that you come back for future videos because we're just getting started here, and we are on a mission to find peace and joy and live incredible lives.